Okay, this video is on section 1.4 of your textbook. Is on polynomials, sums, differences, and products. This should be review, but make sure you do read through the book and watch the videos, take some notes just in case you haven't done this in a little while. Name each polynomial by degree and number of terms. So number 1 reads negative 3m squared minus 7m minus 2. So we have 3 terms. So this is a 3-term polynomial of power 2. That's the highest exponent. It's already in descending order. We like to have that. Alphabetical order is also sometimes the way they're done. So this one we would write second degree polynomial. Now we have number 2 is negative 7a to the 5th plus 5a cubed minus 2a plus 10. So our highest power is a 5. So we have a 5th degree polynomial with 4 terms. Number 3 just reads as negative 7, and that is a constant term. It really actually is a polynomial, or more specifically a monomial, because the variable part would be x to the 0, so that would be equivalent to negative 7x to the 0. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So this would just be, we call it a constant monomial. Okay, number 4 reads x cubed minus 8x. So this one here is only 2 terms, so we would call that a binomial, or we could call it a polynomial, a 3rd degree polynomial, because that's our highest degree is 3. 3rd degree polynomial, or a 3rd degree binomial. Either one is fine, they mean the same thing. So that's it for the vocabulary. Okay, so the other thing we could call it here is cubic binomial. Just want to mention that. So we're moving on to adding and subtracting polynomials on page 2. Number 5 reads quantity, so it's an open parenthesis, 2x cubed plus 6, end quantity with a closed parenthesis, minus quantity 3x cubed plus 7 plus 4x to the 4th, close parenthesis. Okay, so first thing we want to do is distribute the minus sign there so that we change all the signs on the second expression to negative, to their opposite. So I'm going to take and just multiply. So I'm going to write down 2x cubed plus 6, and now I'm going to multiply this negative as if it's a negative 1 times 3x cubed. So then I have minus 3x cubed. Now I'm doing the negative 1 times 7, which is minus 7. And then the negative 1 times the 4x to the 4th. So we have minus 4x to the 4th. Now you're just going to combine like terms and add the coefficients. So the exponent part, the variable and the exponent, if they are an exact match, then we can add them together. So we have 2x cubed minus 3x cubed. So that's going to give us a minus x cubed. I have here a couple of constants, plus 6 minus 7. So that's going to give me a minus 1. And the minus 4x to the 4th, that does not have any other like terms there. I'm going to actually pull that right out in front. So my final answer would be negative 4x to the 4th power minus x to the 3rd minus 1. For number 6, we have 5y to the 4th minus 4xy squared. That's one expression. in parentheses plus parentheses 6x squared y to the fourth plus 4y to the fourth plus 5xy squared in parentheses. So for this one, we're just adding. We don't need to change any signs. So we can just look for like terms that have exactly the same variable and exponent parts. So here we have a 5y to the fourth as our very first term in the first polynomial. The second polynomial, we have 4y to the fourth. So I can just go ahead and add those together, but I'm going to do something here just to make it really clear that I am removing the parentheses on both of these, and I'm just distributing a positive 1. If it's subtract, you need to really make sure that you distribute the negative to every term in the second polynomial. That's a common error that I see students do a lot. They just try to subtract off some of the things, and it doesn't come out right. So here's 5y to the fourth plus 4y to the fourth would give me 9y to the fourth. Another like term that I have is this minus 4xy squared and plus 5xy squared. So that's going to give me a positive or plus xy squared. Now my last thing I have to deal with is this 6x squared y to the fourth, and that's positive. So I'm going to pull that out front because that would technically be my highest exponent. We'll talk about, or my highest degree, how that works a little bit later on and what you do with that. So my final answer is 6x squared y to the fourth plus 9y to the fourth plus xy squared. Okay, I'm actually going to just talk about that right now. The degree of this polynomial, or sometimes we say power, would be 6 because we would add the exponents to get the power. That's the only time you do that when you have different bases in this manner, is just to get the degree. Number 7, we're going to find each product in the following problems here. So number 7 is 5v times quantity 3v squared plus v minus 1 end parentheses. So I need to distribute this 5v to every term in the polynomial. So I'm going to get 5v times 3v squared would give me 15v cubed. Then plus 5v times v gives me 5v squared. Or maybe it's a u. I don't know. Can't tell. 5v times negative 1 here would be minus 5v. In number 8, we have parentheses 3a minus 6b end parentheses times parentheses 2a minus b end parentheses. So those are two binomials being multiplied together. So we have to distribute every term to the other term in the second binomial there, the second factor. So each one of these is a factor. Expressions can be factors, so that 3a minus 6b is a factor and 2a minus b is the other factor. So we're going to go ahead and do what we call FOIL. You've hopefully done this before. First, outside, inside, last. It's just a tracking mechanism. It could be FIOL if you want, or LIO for whatever you want it to be. Just to track. So we're going to do 3a times 2a, and we would get 6a squared. That's the first. Now I'm doing the outsides. So I'm distributing 3a to the minus b So that would be minus 3ab. Now the insides are going to be negative 6b times 2a. So we'll get minus 12ab. Just keeping them in alphabetical order there. And then last, we would have minus 6b minus b gives us a positive 6b squared. Now within that, we need to combine like terms. So we would have as our first term 6a squared minus 3ab minus 12ab becomes minus 15ab. And our last term is plus 6b squared. And we are done with that one.